Welcome back. Today, only a few months ago, Danny O'Shea was gazing at the antiseptic white ceiling of an emergency hospital, wondering if he would ever walk properly once more, much less skate on the most hazardous stage in the world. February 2026 is the date. For Danny O'Shea and Ellie Kam, the path to the rink was lined with the sound of surgical drills and the odor of antiseptic, despite the Milano ice skating arena being a sanctuary of light and song. You have to go back to the training accident that nearly ended their Olympic dream in order to comprehend why their gold medal in the Olympic team event is being referred to as a miracle. The most aggressive type of winter sport is pairs skating. A lady must be thrown 10 feet into the air by a guy while they are both moving at 30 miles per hour on steel blades. It is poetry when done correctly. A trauma ward is what happens when things goes wrong. Danny O'Shea can attest to that with his scars. Danny was doing more than simply training in the days before these games. He was making it through. He was skating on a foot that needed extensive surgery using 2 metal plates and 11 screws since it was so terribly broken. That is often a notice of retirement for those aged 34. It was simply another obstacle for Danny. However, the scar from the most horrifying injury was invisible. It was the one that Ellie Kam, his partner, experienced. Ellie sustained one of the most severe concussions of her career right as Danny was getting back from foot surgery. She was in the air 1 second, then struck the ice with a gruesome thud. The world watched them stand on the platform in Milan, wearing gold around their necks. However, the physicians who informed them that Plan B was the only safe course of action, the months of darkness, and the imperceptible recuperation were invisible to them. The blood on the ice was invisible to them. All they saw was the gold. In addition to the injuries, there was a lack of experience. The figure skating community referred to Ellie Kam and Danny O'Shea as a Frankenstein couple when they initially joined forces in 2022. Danny O'Shea, a 34-year-old skating veteran, is on one side. He is a man with experience playing basketball, soccer, and football. He possesses a physical strength uncommon in this discipline. Together with his former partner Tara Kane, he had already spent a full career, culminating in a national championship in 2016. He spent a month in South Korea as the first alternate for the 2018 Olympics, so close to the dream that he could taste it, but he was never able to take the ice. Ellie Kam is on the opposite side. Her age is 21. Her name is Gen Z Energy. Born on a Japanese airbase in Yokota, she is the rookie who gave a bold, new outlook to a discipline that was having trouble in the US. The 13-year age difference, according to some, was excessive. Their timing would never coincide, they claimed. They described the collaboration as a last-ditch attempt by 2 skaters who had exhausted all other possibilities. However, as exclusives from Women's Health and People have shown, that disparity turned into their biggest asset. Ellie supplied the fire, while Danny O'Shea supplied the titanium steadiness and the seasoned calm. They didn't just settle into a beat. During the most turbulent time of their life, they managed to trust one another. The only thing that could have saved Team USA in Milan was the Frankenstein link. Now let's discuss the unseen harm. Ellie Kam's concussion was a game-changer for the squad, according to Women's Health. In couple skating, the lady must have complete faith in her partner. However, trust is more than simply the partner after a serious head injury. It's about having faith in your own intellect. Recovery from a concussion is not linear. It is not comparable to a fractured bone when the X-ray seems to be healing. Weeks of brain rest are required. No lights, no screens, and no loud music. That quiet is agony for an Olympic athlete. It was at this period that Danny O'Shea had to develop a new form of partnership. Patience was that partnership. He informed reporters that there are times when recuperation is not evident. He was forced to wait. Even though his body was still hurting from the foot operation, he had to be the rock and faith that Ellie would return. This become the Ashi norm. Danny has experienced everything. Broken bones, hernias, and the psychological effects of missing previous Olympics. He was aware that putting mental health ahead of repetitions was the only way to get to Milan. They ceased throwing 100 times a day. They prioritized quality over quantity and concentrated on clutch performance. On paper, they entered the Milano arena as the weakest link. Ilya Malanin, the quad god, and Chalkin Bates, the world champion dance team, were on Team USA. Everyone assumed that Kam and O'Shea would just get by. However, The squad composed of the strongest metal ended up having the most scars when the pressure came. On the evening of Sunday, February 8, 2026, the moment of truth arrived. Japan and Team USA were engaged in a dogfight. The United States' dominance was waning, and the quad god, Ellie Kam, had faltered in his brief program. The partners were directly under pressure. The atmosphere was electrifying when Kam and O'Shea went onto the rink. They were skating to a medley that including songs like Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Sweetheart Dreams. For a squad that had endured a nightmare to get there, the soundtrack seemed appropriate. During the brief program, they had experienced a terrible fall just 2 days prior. The throw triple loop, which has plagued Ellie since her concussion, had taken her down. In the free skate, many people assumed they would be safe. They didn't. They got ready for the throw triple lutz at the 2-minute mark. The physics of fear is as follows. Ellie is launched by Danny with enough power to pass a tiny vehicle. She rotates at a speed that defies human balance for a brief while, totally detached from the earth. She succeeded. It was stuck in addition to being clean. The throw triple loop, the jump she had fallen on just 48 hours earlier, came next. There was silence throughout the arena. The trajectory was ideal when Danny let her go. Ellie Kam didn't just touch down. She smiled as she walked out of it, and the back row could see it. They achieved a free skate score of 135.36, which was their career high. In addition to earning Team USA 7 crucial points, it was sufficient to place 4th in the phase. Japan would have won the gold if the United States hadn't made those points. They were the most important players who helped secure the gold medal, thus they weren't only spectators. When younger, healthier teams failed, why did they succeed? Because the old guard is personified by Danny O'Shea. Danny is a lift expert at the age of 34. Lifts are where the points are concealed when skating in pairs. He is regarded by many as one of the world's top lifters. During the broadcast, Tara Lansky and Johnny were mentioned how amazing his strength is. Ellie is not the only thing he lifts. She is able to convey the program's creativity because of the steadiness he provides. His true leadership, however, was psychological. The squad was rocked by their collapse in the short program. Ellie was crying. She was kept grounded by Danny, who drew on 30 years of heartache and near misses. They weren't trying to be flawless, he informed her. It was to be happy. This is Danny O'Shea's redemption. In 2018, he served as an alternative. He observed from the outside throughout 2022. He eventually had his Olympic moment in 2026. He accomplished this by taking on the role of seasoned leader that the U.S. program sorely required. Their platform grins, according to the Associated Press, were the result of a great deal of suffering. That is the Olympic gold truth. The 4 minutes of music are not all that important. It's about the decades of everyday experiences you give up to be present. Danny O'Shea gave up his 20s to play this sport. At the age of 35, he finally found fulfillment in athletics in Milan. Ellie and Danny discussed the implications of this gold medal for U.S. couples in their exclusive interview with People. The U.S. has always been viewed as a dance and singles powerhouse, with couples being the underappreciated middle child. That story has been altered by Kam and O'Shea. They demonstrated that winning does not require a 10-year cooperation. All you need is a collection of values in common. They are skating in support of the wounded. For the elderly, they are skating. For the rookie, they are skating. Born on a military post, 21-year-old Ellie Kam is now an inspiration to all young skaters who have ever been told they are too little or lack sufficient expertise. For any veteran who has been told they are past their prime, Danny O'Shea is a hero. Because it symbolizes the triumph of the human spirit over the medical chart, their victory is said to as the most emotional gold for Team USA in 2026. Even though they were the world's most gifted squad, they lost. Because they were the most resilient, they prevailed. Ellie was spotted gripping her medal, a hefty weight she claimed to have even slept with beneath her pillow, when the national anthem played as they were standing on the podium. It was more than just a metal object. It served as tangible evidence that they were still alive. Avoiding the fall is not the goal of success in Milan. It has to do with how quickly you get back up. Danny O'Shea and Ellie Kam are more than simply Olympic winners. They have survived. They are the group that created a podium out of a hospital bed. They are the crew who transformed a broken foot and a concussion into a clutch performance masterpiece. They are no longer the weakest link as they enter the individual event tonight, February 15th. They are the MVPs. They've already completed their task. The delight has already been delivered by them. For many years to come, the tale of Kay and O'Shea will be recited as the 2026 medical miracle. It serves as a reminder that flawless routines are not always the most attractive ones at the Olympics. The ones that are true are those. The squad with the most quads or the fewest scars did not win the gold in Milan. It went to the group that wouldn't give up. It's a tale that will last forever.